Hey guys, so today we have a very special workout. This is probably one of the only workouts that has ever made me physically cry, but we are in a very mentally trying time, so excuse my French, but fuck it, let's do it. Kalsu. Now, we'll deal with that in a minute. Let's get warmed up. 10 belly breaths as always. We want to make sure that we give ourselves the respect and the grace and the permission to take 30 to 45 minutes to yourself. You deserve it. Once we've done that, we're going to set a clock. 30 single unders. And again, if we don't have a jump rope, 30 single jumps in place. And we're then going to do 30 seconds of Spider-Man's plank position. Foot is going to come outside of the hand. It's a nice long stretch through the hips. Go ahead and switch at your own pace. And then 30 seconds of lunges. Coming in, making sure trailing knee touches the ground. We drive through the heel to stand back up. All right, so nice long steps there. 30 seconds of lunge, we're gonna do that for 2 rounds. Before we jump into Kalsu, we're gonna make sure that we warm up the hips. We're gonna do that with 10 air squats, heels outside of the hips. We're gonna look to have the hip creasing the knee, coming back up to that full standing position, 10 in total. From there, we're gonna get some movement through the spine, getting ready for our burpees. With our scorpion, teeing open. Opposite shoulder, right? Left shoulder is gonna roll into the ground. Heel's gonna cross over and twist. We've got 10 scorpions, 5 each direction, and then 10 cat-cow. So the cat-cow, we're gonna come into our tabletop position. Our cow, our udders are gonna hang down, and then our cat, we're gonna bring our spine as tight and tall up to the ceiling as we can, 10 in total. So when we count this, every time I come back down or every time I go back up would be 1. We're gonna do that for 2 rounds. Now, I'm gonna come in, we're gonna have a chat about Kalsu. Kalsu as a workout is 100 thrusters for time. Letting that sink in. 100 thrusters for time. There's a catch. On the top of every minute, you're gonna do 5 burpees. Meaning 3, 2, 1, go, 5 burpees, and then you can pick up your barbell and start shipping at your reps. Written RX'd at 135 and 95, which for many of you is a very heavy thruster. So let's talk about the thruster, then we'll talk about scaling. Thruster, for some of us will be barbell. For some of us will be a set of dumbbells. We may have to do single arm kettlebell thrusters, right? We've got to work with what we've got here, guys. The thruster is going to start technically on the floor. You can clean that first one up into what they call a cluster, which is a squat clean thruster. But if we are starting at the top, we're going to go a thumb distance into that smooth and knurling. Bar's physically going to be in that front rack position, sitting on top of our shoulders. So we want to avoid any of these kind of floating barbells. From here, feet are going to go into a squatting position. I'm going to get the hip to crease the knee, driving all the way up. Ideally, I'm going to wait until that hip and knee are fully extended before I transfer into that full lockout overhead. We're then going to come back down to the shoulders to string those together. So thrusters. Burpee we're all very familiar with. We are not jumping onto or over anything afterwards. We do, however, want to make sure that we do full, solid burpees. Meaning, chest and quad touch the deck. We hit full extension at the top. That does not mean that we have chest and quad to the deck, never really open. You know who you are. If, let me come back in. If burpees are our quickest movement. We can always scale that, right? So a couple ways that we can scale Kalsu. You can scale the weight, right? We can always take the weight down. You can also take the number of burpees down to 3 or maybe even 2, depending on how quick we move on burpees. We also want to make sure that we come in and give ourselves a 20-minute cap. Because it is so potentially mentally draining, you may get into some rounds when we get into that 10, 11, 12, where you have 5 burpees and you're only getting 1 or 2 thrusters. If that's the case, certainly make sure we hit that 20-minute cap. We don't want this to take forever. We also don't want it to totally destroy your mental capacity. If you are close to finishing, so say I am at the 19-minute mark and I've only got 10 burpees left or less, finish it. If I get to that 19-minute mark and I still have, 30 thrusters left, 20-minute time cap. So, just be aware going in, this sucks. It is one of the worst CrossFit workouts ever written. I have done it a few times. I've only ever finished it once. When I was competing professionally is when that happened. I have realistic expectations this go around. And then afterwards, go for either a nice bike, a row, a light jog, just something to flush your legs out because you are going to destroy them today. Good news is that Sunday is also a recovery day. So get out, get some blood flow, hiking, biking, running, rowing, those kinds of things. And then we'll be back for more reviews on Monday.